Hey there, theorists. Today we're diving deep into the wacky and sometimes disturbing world of the Ren and Stimpy show. Hold on to your hats, because we're exploring a theory that might just change the way you see this beloved cartoon forever. Could Ren and Stimpy actually be dead? Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't that a little dark? And yeah, on the surface, it might seem like a stretch. But stick with me, because when we look at the evidence, things start to get interesting. Throughout the show's run, there are hints, winks, and outright screams that suggest these two might be experiencing the afterlife. Think about it. The bizarre situations, the over-the-top violence, the complete disregard for the laws of physics and logic. These elements, while hilarious, also paint a picture of a world outside our normal understanding. A world that could very well be the great beyond. So buckle up, theorists, because we're about to embark on a wild ride through the twisted landscape of the Ren and Stimpy show to uncover the truth behind this chilling theory. Let's start with the episode Stimpy's Invention. Ren gets trapped inside Stimpy's mind, a surreal and terrifying hellscape that could easily be interpreted as a personal purgatory. Then there's Powdered Toast Man, where Ren literally dies and goes to heaven, only to be sent back down to Earth for being annoying. Coincidence? I think not. And who can forget the countless times Ren and Stimpy face gruesome injuries that should be fatal but somehow never are? They get flattened, blown up, and stretched to their limits, yet they always come back for more. This constant cycle of pain and resurrection certainly aligns with the idea of an afterlife where death is fluid and consequences are irrelevant. One particularly unsettling example is the episode Sven Herk. Ren's jealousy manifests as a grotesque alter ego, a physical embodiment of his inner turmoil. This could be interpreted as Ren literally facing his demons in a metaphysical struggle for his soul. These are just a few examples, but the evidence is scattered throughout the entire series. Each episode offers glimpses into this twisted, surreal world that seems to exist on the edge of reality and the afterlife. Now, some might argue that the show's bizarre nature is just that, bizarre. It's meant to be funny, shocking, and over the top, but I think there's more to it than that. The creators of Ren and Stimpy were known for pushing boundaries and challenging conventions. What better way to explore the unknown than through the lens of a cartoon about a psychotic chihuahua and a dim-witted cat? The show's surrealism allows it to tackle dark and existential themes in a way that's both humorous and thought-provoking. When you consider the themes of life, death, and the afterlife through this lens, the show takes on a whole new meaning. Take, for instance, the episode Space Madness. Ren and Stimpy are trapped in space with nothing but each other. Ren's sanity unravels and he begins to hallucinate. This episode could be interpreted as a metaphor for the isolation and existential dread that can come with the human experience, even in the afterlife. Ultimately, the show's surrealism opens the door for a myriad of interpretations, and the death theory is just one of many possibilities. The Ren and Stimpy show isn't the only piece of media to spark theories about characters being dead. Think about Courage the Cowardly Dog, where Courage's adventures could be seen as his way of coping with the trauma of his owner's deaths. Or SpongeBob SquarePants, where some believe the characters represent the 7 deadly sins. These theories, while often dark and unsettling, highlight our fascination with the unknown. We love to explore the darker side of our favorite stories to find deeper meaning in the seemingly absurd. The Ren and Stimpy are dead theory taps into this same fascination, prompting us to question what we think we know about life, death, and the afterlife. So, is it true? Are Ren and Stimpy really pushing up daisies in some bizarre cartoon afterlife? We may never know for sure, but the beauty of a good theory, theorists, is that it forces us to think critically, to question what we see, and to engage with the art we love on a deeper level. Gap 2S. One of the most compelling elements of the Ren and Stimpy show is its ability to blend humor with dark, surreal themes that leave viewers both amused and unsettled. But what if these bizarre scenarios aren't just for laughs? What if they're subtle hints that Ren and Stimpy are navigating a twisted afterlife? Consider the episode Space Madness, where Ren slowly loses his sanity while floating through the void of space. The eerie, claustrophobic atmosphere and Ren's escalating paranoia could symbolize a soul trapped in purgatory. struggling to come to terms with its fate. The emptiness of space mirrors the emptiness of the afterlife, where time and reality blur together in an endless loop of confusion and despair. Gap 2S. Then there's Stimpy's invention, an episode notorious for its dark turn when Stimpy creates the happy helmet to force Ren into a state of perpetual joy. The unsettling imagery of Ren's forced happiness juxtaposed with his underlying misery creates a nightmarish scenario that echoes the idea of eternal punishment. This could be seen as a representation of a hellish afterlife where Ren is condemned to live out his days in a facade of happiness while internally suffering. Gap 2S. AI-generated animation can bring these macabre scenarios to life in ways traditional animation can't. Imagine an AI-generated sequence where Ren and Stimpy find themselves in a distorted version of their home, filled with grotesque, otherworldly creatures and landscapes that defy the laws of physics. The walls could pulse with a heartbeat, and the floor could shift like quicksand, symbolizing the unstable nature of their reality. These surreal visuals would not only enhance the eerie atmosphere, but also reinforce the theory that Ren and Stimpy are trapped in a bizarre afterlife. Gap 2S. Through these nightmarish scenarios, the Ren and Stimpy show invites us to explore the darker corners of its universe, blurring the line between comedy and horror. It challenges us to question the nature of existence and what lies beyond, all while keeping us on the edge of our seats. So, the next time you watch an episode, pay close attention to the surreal and dark themes lurking beneath the surface. You might just find yourself questioning whether Ren and Stimpy are really alive, or if they're wandering through a cartoon afterlife, forever caught in a cycle of bizarre and unsettling adventures. Gap 2S. In the twisted world of the Ren and Stimpy show, new bizarre characters and scenarios continually emerge, each adding layers to the unsettling afterlife theory. Enter the Phantom of the Fridge, a spectral figure that haunts the duo's kitchen. This eerie character could be brought to life through AI-generated animation, enhancing the surreal and nightmarish atmosphere that fans have come to expect. Gap 2S. Imagine Ren and Stimpy opening their refrigerator only to find a ghostly apparition lurking among the spoiled food and half-eaten leftovers. The Phantom of the Fridge is a translucent, ghastly figure whose presence distorts time and space within the kitchen. The walls warp, and the refrigerator's interior seems to stretch into an abyss, filled with floating, disembodied eyeballs and swirling vortexes. Gap 2S. This spectral figure could symbolize the lingering regrets and unresolved issues that Ren and Stimpy carry with them in their twisted afterlife. The Phantom's chilling whispers echo through the kitchen, recounting memories of past mistakes and missed opportunities, creating a sense of eternal guilt and torment. The surreal AI-generated visuals would amplify this haunting atmosphere, making it clear that the duo's reality is far from normal. Gap 2S. The Phantom's interactions with Ren and Stimpy would be both comedic and disturbing. Picture Ren trying to confront the apparition, only to have his voice distorted and his movements slowed as if he's wading through molasses. Stimpy, ever the naive optimist, might attempt to befriend the Phantom, offering it a mouldy sandwich only to be met with an unsettling hollow laugh. Gap 2S. This new scenario not only deepens the theory that Ren and Stimpy are navigating a bizarre afterlife, but also introduces a new layer of surreal horror to their world. The Phantom of the Fridge serves as a constant reminder of the dark, unresolved elements of their existence, forever haunting their every move. Gap 2S. Through the lens of AI-generated animation, the Ren and Stimpy show continues to push the boundaries of surrealism and dark comedy. The Phantom of the Fridge is just one more piece of evidence that Ren and Stimpy's adventures are anything but ordinary. So, the next time you find yourself laughing at their antics, take a moment to consider the deeper, darker narrative lurking beneath the surface. You might just find that the line between comedy and horror is thinner than you ever imagined.